Welcome back to Rabid Noise on Rabbit Radio. That was Mercy by Sylosis, and joining us on the program now from the band is Josh Middleton. What's happening, man?
How's it going? Yeah, I'm good. All good.
Awesome.
Just enjoying some downtime.
Before it all gets hectic with the new album. So I guess you're gearing up for album number 4, Dormant Heart, which comes out next month. And how's it feel to know that it's in the can, but you still have to wait for everything to get wrapped up for its release?
We've been used to waiting for this one to come out for a while now, so yeah, it's only like a month and a bit left, so it's not too bad. We began recording the album back in March of this year, and it was quite a spread out recording process. It got, we did the drums, and we did went on tour, then we did the guitars, so it's been a long time coming, so it doesn't feel like too much longer to wait now, so we're very excited.
Awesome. Well, it is a great album. I'm really digging it. How do you feel that, your writing has progressed to this point, and the biggest lesson that you've learnt musically from that?
I think, it's just, with age and over the years, we just get better as writers, and we're, quite confident now with, the songwriting stuff. I think for this album, like, we wanted to make it a little bit more varied because I think Edge of the Earth and Monolith kind of established ourselves as a band, like that established our sound. It was like, right, this is what Sylosis is. This is the type of band we are. It's, a lot of thrash predominantly, but a lot of progressive influences. But what we've learned, I think, is to just try and mix it up a bit. So for this new one, there's more variation in different tempos. So it's not all just super fast. Different types of songs, different types of groove and stuff, and just try to expand a bit without, while still remaining as heavy as possible. I'd definitely say it's the heaviest and most intense album we've done to date. So, when bands start saying things like more variation, that usually means they're selling out or going more commercial, but I definitely wouldn't say it's, any more commercial or anything like that. It's just as heavy as it's ever been, but yeah, just more groove and more different types of songs, and, as some of the more sort of dark and doomy elements have crept through in this one as well. So, we've learnt to, expand a bit and make the album a bit more dynamic, I guess, yeah.
Oh, man, I agree with that. And it is a bummer when sometimes bands, they experiment, but they go too far. And as you said, sell out sometimes can be a harsh word, but yeah, I do know what you mean.
I mean, some bands, if they go a bit more melodic, it doesn't necessarily mean they've sold out. Like, when Mastodon did Crack the Sky, it was way less heavy and more melodic, but, it was done with such integrity that, that's their best album in my opinion. And yeah, it can be done in, the right way and stuff, as long as you're not driven by trying to be some successful band. A lot of heavier bands do when they try to appeal to bigger fan bases, and you just end up alienating your own fan base. And for me, I was obsessed with Pantera as a kid, and they just kept getting heavier and more intense with every album. So that was a huge inspiration to me growing up, making sure that we kind of stick to that kind of thing, stick to your guns and get a little bit heavier and less accessible is more fun, I think.
So no power ballads?
No, well, I say that. The last track on the album's like an acoustic song, but it's definitely inspired by a lot of kind of 70s prog rock stuff. Like, we love all kinds of, like Pink Floyd and stuff. So it's a very dark song, but it's definitely, I wouldn't describe it as a power ballad, but yeah.
What do you think about the new Floyd?
To be honest, I've only heard a couple of tracks, and I didn't even realise, I didn't pay much attention to the press around it. I didn't realise that it was just sort of leftovers. I thought it was a new album, but it's apparently like some stuff left over from the Division Bell sessions, I think. So, it's cool. What I've heard, I did enjoy it. Nothing grabbed me, quite as intense as when I heard, the older albums like Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here and stuff, but what I've heard, I did enjoy it for sure. Yeah.
Are you a Gilmore, or you're more of a Waters?
Gilmore, definitely. Yeah. Huge fan of his guitar playing and his voice. And, like even his solo album he did like the other year, it had like song, what was it called? On an Island. That was just, yeah, that was really cool. So I listen to that sort of stuff when it's not the heavy music. I listen to more prog rock kind of stuff, yeah, to chill out.
You got to keep your mind open on as well. Hey, you know.
Yeah, when you're on tour with heavy bands non-stop, like, I always heard of bands saying that when I was younger. They were like, yeah, we listen to so much heavy music, you get sick of it after a while. I was like, that would never happen to me. But once you start touring a lot, then yeah, you want to get on the bunk and put on some different types of music. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Well, do you enjoy the recording process or do you prefer live?
I overall the recording process, because the whole day can be fun and productive and eventful, whereas touring can be really hard work because most of the day completely sucks. But the live show makes up for it. So playing live is definitely the ultimate. Like when you're playing like just a really great show, or especially like the festivals are so much fun. That's like the most fun you can have in a band, and nothing really compares to that. But when it's a tour, the day is really hard work. Like especially like in America where the drives are so long, and you spend like 8 hours in a van staring out the window. And that can be that can wear thin at times. But on the whole, yeah, being in the studio and being creative is fun, but nothing compares to playing live. So I don't know how well I answered that, but yeah.
No, that answered it perfectly. But as you said, you got lots of downtime. So what do you do to sort of battle that downtime?
Well, we don't make a living from Sylosis, so we still have day jobs. So I have started trying to get into doing artwork for bands. I really enjoy, painting and doing illustration for bands. Our bass player works for Microsoft testing Xbox games for a living. Literally, it is what it sounds. He just plays games all day and gets paid for it. Our other guitarist does web design, and then our new drummer, Ali, does drum lessons and works in a bar and stuff. So we all keep busy when we're not on tour and stuff, yeah.
A lot of bands I talk to, they have jobs outside of, touring and writing and, releasing albums, even if they're successful musically. It seems that, gone are the days of, the jet planes and the, but
yeah.
But, do you find it's, to juggle that? How do you find it?
I personally am lucky enough that, well, as sad as it is, still live with my parents, so I don't have too much, stress over where my next, chunk of money is going to come from to pay my bills, and they can kind of let me go without paying rent here and stuff now and then. But yeah, it can be a juggle for the other guys, who have their own apartments and stuff, to make sure that they can take the time off work. But luckily, everyone, like Bailey doing web design, he's freelance, so he can just do it on the road. Our bass player's got a 0-hour contract, so he can kind of work whenever he wants. So it does work out quite well. But for some bands, yeah, it can definitely be hard to juggle both things.
You were saying, with your art and stuff, what came first for you? Was it music or art?
It was art, actually. Yeah, my mother's well, she's retired now, but an art teacher. So I used to just draw all day, every day as a kid, and I stopped doing it for years. Like, I only really started getting back into it, like 2 years ago. And before then, I hadn't really drawn anything in like 10 years. So I hadn't really done it since school, because music really took over when I got into music. But, I always thought when I was a kid that I was going to be an artist, or a graphic designer, and then music took over, and now I'm trying to do both.
Man, if you can do both, I mean, I can't draw to save my life. So I wish I could, man. I really wish, was it comics and things that got you started on that side?
I think it's like, just like I said, my mum, and like being dragged around art galleries as a kid, just sort of forced me into it. And well, she didn't force me into it, just being surrounded by it, just by accident sort of forces you into it. Actually though, I only just got into like comics and stuff in, like the last few years. So I'm kind of obsessed with, comics and graphic novels these days. So I do pay a lot of attention to it now, yeah.
Who are you guys when it comes to that side of things?
it might seem like an obvious one for someone who's just got into it, but Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo on the new Batman stuff are just, it's amazing, the stuff they're doing. Artwork and the writing's so good on the new Batman stuff. And then Garth Ennis, who does Preacher and stuff. Just still working my way through Preacher, which is the most insane stuff I've ever read. So I recommend people reading that. It's pretty graphic, but it's great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the series is going to be like.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, it's I haven't heard much about it from when it first got announced that Seth, what's his name? Seth
Rogen?
Rogen,
Yeah,
that's the one.
yeah.
He's going to be in it. And as soon as I heard his name, I was like, oh well, he's definitely going to nail it. I'm sure he is going to treat it well with respect. But yeah, I'm interested to see how it turns out, and especially some of the subject matter. I don't know how censored it will have to be, but I think if it's going to be on HBO, they can probably get away with quite a lot.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, I think the latest Constantine series is pretty good. You know, and what they're doing with you know, Gotham and stuff like that. So yeah. So hopefully it'll translate really well to screen. They won't censor it too much. So, you know, as we were saying before, you know, we last saw you guys down here in 2013 for Soundwave. So, you know, can we expect to see you guys back here soon?
If it was down to us, then yes. It just kind of depends on what offers come through. No lie, Australia it's literally our favourite place to play. Like Soundwave, we had so much fun on that. In terms of, you know, Soundwave being a great festival and everything, and just, you know, the off days we had just being in Australia was great. So, we definitely want to get back, but it's never down to us, in the band. We always have to, you know, wait for the offers to come in. We keep pestering our management, just saying, please get us back to Australia, but nothing set in stone yet. But we definitely will be trying to. Awesome,
man. Well, I'll definitely hope to see you guys again. So what kind of mischief did you get up to when you were down here?
Nothing too crazy, but on the first night, Metallica threw a barbecue for all the bands, and like no crew invited. But we didn't have any crew, but it was kind of funny. But yeah, so like the first night, you know, you get to meet all these people. There's James Hetfield walking around meeting everyone, and yeah, it was amazing. So it just, you know, just the whole vibe. We got to just become friends with loads of great bands. Some people we already knew from the UK came over with us. So just the whole experience was crazy. And between every festival, you just kind of fly on an airplane with all the other bands, like, you know, like a chartered flight. So just those flights were hilarious. Just a bunch of drunk metal dudes just all yelling in an airplane was pretty funny. So yeah, no, just the whole experience was great. And we had a pretty dangerous encounter with a shark in Perth as well. There was we were swimming out in the sea, and the siren went on, and we were apparently like 20 feet away from a shark. So it's pretty scary. Like, we're in the water, and then like just sort of look up, and there's the crowd of people on the beach sort of like pointing out and staring where we were, and we're like, oh, I don't know about this. So just panicked and trying to swim in, and managed to, yeah, it was only, I think it was like a tiger shark. It wasn't too bad, but it was definitely scary for a few minutes.
Yeah, that's hectic, man. I don't swim in the ocean, and especially over there, they get pretty big. So
yeah, I'll learn our lesson.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys again soon. Well, we're going to go to the track Leech off Dormant Heart now. Thanks for chatting with us tonight, Josh. And, you know, I wish you dudes the very best for the upcoming plans, and hope you guys have a blast.
Thank you very much, man. Yeah, hopefully we'll be back. I can't say when, but yeah, fingers crossed. Thanks.